I paid off $43,000 of debt in 9 simple steps, and in this video I'm breaking down each one of them so you can use it too. But here's the twist: with every step I'm going to be eating a chicken wing with a random hot sauce.
I can like feel my heart in my chest.
Ranging from delicious to dangerous. The higher the number, the hotter the wing. And each step is going to be prompted by a question. So let's just jump right into the first question as I do my random number generator here. Low number. 7. Okay, got my wing here. I got the number 7 sauce. Hot damn, that's extreme cayenne hot sauce.
Why did it become important for you to pay off the $43,000?
Ooh, okay, that was like instant spice. Wow. To answer your question, producer, it wasn't just about the $43,000 of debt that was important to us. It was about what the things are in our life that having that debt was stopping us from doing. One thing that we did that really kind of helped us was figure out what our why was. What's the reason why we want to pay off the debt? Obviously paying off the debt is great, but you have to be able to find something that is a big enough carrot that you could dangle out in the future for you to like be able to actually make this happen. So for us, it was a time before we had kids and we were looking at our life. We did a full life audit, and the one thing that kept standing out to us was, wow, the debt. We're in a lot of debt. To be able to take that off our plate before we had kids, that was our why. So that's what I would recommend. So that's it. Let's just go right to the next question. Come on, we need a low number. No, what is happening? So let's get another wing out. Extreme jalapeno. That just smells hot.
When did you realize how much money you were wasting with your debt?
Huh. Oh no. I was like, where is it? I found it. When did you realize how much money you were wasting with your debt? We did not. To be perfectly frank with you, we did not. We didn't really track this, but if I knew what I know now and what I'm showing people in my free personal finance community, which we can get into later, here's a quick tutorial in my debt payment calculator. This is how much money you're losing and how much little extra money it could help you, pay off your debt a little faster. I just have some random debt information here. We have totaling $50,000 in debt. Here's all of our interest rates and then the minimum payments for each of them. So our minimum payment is $715. So let's assume we're just making the minimum payments of $715. Down here in the calculator portion, it's showing us, okay, based on that information, how long is it going to take to pay it off? We're going to be debt-free in basically 17 years based on just paying our minimum payments for $50,000, because the interest paid that we're going to be making is almost $100,000, guys. It's $96,000. If you were to just add a little bit extra money, let's call it $100, the power of $100, and this is the framework that I teach inside of my free community. Just by adding an extra $100, you can see that the interest paid went down over $50,000, and we're becoming debt-free years later. Okay, so it went from 17 years to 9 years. So essentially cut it in half just by finding an extra $100 a month. Get this wing out of my face.
Real quick, I had so much fun with this challenge. I wanted to share where I got these hot sauces from. So this 30 pack is linked down below if you want to try for yourself.
Producer, hit me with that next question. Not 9. No. Okay. 6. All right, so we have extra hot habanero.
What strategy did you use to pay off debt, and what strategy should someone else use?
Ooh, okay. That is hot. For some reason, that was hotter than 8. When we were doing this, paying off $43,000 of debt, we didn't necessarily have a strategy. We kind of stumbled into one, and let me explain what happened. The $43,000 of debt that we had was comprised of 12 loans. Okay, that's a lot. Wouldn't recommend it to anyone. And we looked at it, we're like, okay, 4 of the loans, the totals were like $1,200 or less. So we're like, okay, let's just get rid of these as fast as we can. I think we would feel a little better, and we'd be able to go from like 12 to 8 loans in say a couple months, maybe, if we're lucky. This strategy is actually called the debt snowball method. It's taking your smallest loan balances first and focusing on that. Rank your debts in order of smallest loan to largest loan. And you put extra money that you have towards those smaller loans. Now, what strategy should someone else use? It depends on your situation. So the people inside my free community use most likely the debt avalanche method, because a lot of times they have a credit card interest rate that's over 20%, 25%, 29%, and it just makes more sense mathematically to prioritize your debts in order of highest interest rate than the lowest interest rate. The reason why debt takes so long to pay off is all the interest that we have associated with it. All right, next question, please. Let's spin the wheel. Just don't be 9, please. 2. All right, we can handle that. Jalapeno bacon.
How did you find extra money in your finances to pay more?
That's legit delicious. We didn't just magically find extra money in our finances. We had to first see where our money was going. So what we did is something called the 3-month look back, where we took however we spent money, credit cards, debit cards, cash, look back 3 months, made a list of where are we spending all of our money, and then we wanted to make sure, sorry, I got food in my teeth, where are we spending our money, and is there an area of opportunity to either add more or spend less? And a lot of people just think, oh, when I start budgeting my finances, I have to immediately start cutting everywhere. But it's all about looking at it and seeing if your money that you have makes sense for the goals that you want. For us, we looked at it, we're like, oh wow, we were spending way too much in food delivery, restaurants, etc., and Spoiler alert, that's kind of like the majority of people that go through this. Like, wow, I didn't realize I was spending this much in this category. So it's not about just like, oh, hey, I opened my wallet and there's more money. You do have to put in some work on the front end, but then once you understand your spending habits, then everything changes.
Real quick, if you want to get your finances as hot as my mouth was in this challenge, I'd love for you to check out my free personal finance community, Dollar Discipline University, where we're helping people save more money, pay off debt a little more efficiently, and just become more confident with your finances. The link's down in the description. Now back to the video.
All right, next question, please. Let's spin the wheel. Number 1. All right, cool. We're going through a nice little stretch here. Where's that 9 coming?
How do you prioritize your limited resources, time, money, etc.?
Tying it back to the last step of the 3-month look back, what we did was we took our historical spending data the last 3 months, and now we made a list of 2, 5, 10 things. I forget exactly how many. It's like, hey, what are the most important things in our life right now that we want to, have happen? And then you look at where you're spending your money and you ask yourself, is where I'm spending my money aligned to these goals? And for us, it was not. We're actually putting money towards things that don't matter. We're just like buying convenience. They didn't align with the goals. So we're like, okay, how do we shift this? So we took that money. Sometimes it was $100 in certain categories, hundreds of dollars in other categories. And we're like, if we just trim it down a little bit and then we add more to, in this case it was paying off the debt. That's what I recommend, and that's what really worked well for us. 4 questions left. My mouth is actually feeling kind of good. I'm kind of nervous about 9 though. Ooh, okay. Okay, we're safe for now.
How would you avoid unexpected expenses from slowing you down?
Let me just pour this on here. It's a little thicker. So the short answer to the question, we didn't avoid unexpected expenses. Nobody does, nobody can. Everyone has unexpected expenses. So what we have to do is we have to start planning for them, and that's what we did. I've got a nice kick to it, but not like dangerous. I'm so nervous about number 9, by the way. Ghost pepper. And we did this by creating an emergency fund. So I like to think about emergency funds like this. Think of a video game that you're playing now or you've played in the past, and it's where a main character has a health bar. You're going through the level, everything's fine, you're completing challenges, and then all of a sudden you're getting attacked out of nowhere, your health bar is going down, the screen's flashing red, it's like going crazy. What do you do in the game in those situations? Do you try to power through with the risk of, okay, if I don't make it, I'm gonna have to go back to the last checkpoint, I'm gonna have to start this whole thing all over again? Or do you hide behind the rock, find the med kit, kind of wait for the situation to die down, level up the health bar, and kind of continue moving forward? That's what I want you to think of an emergency fund as. My tongue is like on fire right now, the back of it. I don't have any milk or anything. I'm like screwed here. This was a terrible setup. Who's producing this? In real life, it looks like this. You're paying off your debt, but then like this unexpected expense comes out of nowhere. Let's say like all 4 of my tires need to get replaced and you don't have over $1,000 to replace it or however much it costs. And you have to put that expense on a credit card, destroying the work that you've put in over the last few months to make this happen. But just start somewhere. How much money would it take you to cover the unexpected expenses that happen in your life? Would it be $500, $1,000? $2,000, whatever that amount is, that's where you should start with. So start with, say, $1,000 and go from there. All right, next question, please. Pineapple habanero. That sounds fun. Oh my God, the 9 is still out there, guys. Oh, that's way too much.
Being responsible with finances can be really boring. How did you stay consistent?
Who wrote these questions? Boring? Boring. Being responsible with finances can be boring. When we drew a line in the sand with our debt, we're like, what are we doing? We got to pay this off. We set up a literal meeting, my wife and I, on our couch in our living room, at the beginning of every month, using this rinky-dinky debt spreadsheet that we put together. And it just showed like, hey, what loans do we have and how much is available? And we updated it every month. And then we talked about which of the debts are we going to prioritize this month, right? Because we had a shared bank account. She had debt just in her name. I had debt just in my name. We had debt shared together. It was a complete disaster. So we wanted to make sure that since we had a shared bank account, that we each weren't prioritizing the wrong thing, and then like we were crippling like our money in our checking account. If you're finding that you're not able to stay consistent with it, maybe the carrot that you've dangled out in front of you in the future just isn't good enough for you, or like you need to ramp up the stakes. Maybe you're too comfortable, and that's where we were. We were just too comfortable. We were making minimum debt payments and like, oh, it'll just go away eventually. When you put something in front of you that is just like a non-negotiable, spitting chicken out here, that's when everything changed, and that's how it worked for us. Let's spin the wheel. 9 and 4. Oh gosh. Oh no. It happened. Ghost pepper. Oh no. Oh, that just looks hot. Oh God. I gotta slab of this. I gotta do it right here.
How did you protect yourself from falling back into debt?
I gotta eat more chicken bites. Oh my God. What was the question? I didn't use debt to get out of debt, basically. We only paid for what we could afford.
I can like feel my heart in my chest.
We basically just kind of pay with cash or debit card for the first, little bit. We use credit cards now, but we are out of debt. We pay them off every month and they're organized. What really helped us was this framework. It's called 50-30-20 budgeting strategy. Basically what this says is, I got to make this fast so I can have the last chicken wing. Oh my God. Basically what this says is 50% of your income goes towards your need items, 30% goes towards want items, and 20% goes towards, oh my God, a financial goal. Why didn't I bring milk out? And we use that as a framework. So we wanted to put 20%, which is insane. If you can put 20% of your income towards a financial goal, you're crushing it. So we tried to put 20% of our income towards debt. And then we had around, it was like, 45-50% of our income was going towards things like, housing, utilities, groceries, right? Things that we physically need to live on. And then the rest was the want items. And you have to be first really honest about what a need item is and what a want item is. This is just lethal. What happened in our situation was, first we started with this framework 50-30-20, but we flipped it on its head, right? So we did 50 and then 20, and then the leftover was 30 for us, the want items. After a couple months, after we had some really awesome progress, wow, this is insane. Once we saw awesome progress with the 20%, we really squeezed out the want items. We put more money and more money and more money towards our debt. And that's how we were able to pay it off in 13 months. I don't know if I mentioned that in this video, but we were able to pay off the $43,000 in just 13 months. But man, yeah, I got to get to the next wing here. I'm dying. But find a way to create small wins within your personal finances, something that you can always, kind of keep going back to. Next question. Blazing Outlaw, Chipotle Cayenne. I got to freaking make this happen quick here. It's another thick sauce.
What are your financial goals after paying off the $43,000 debt?
That's spicy, but like, that feels so much calmer. Oh my gosh. Okay. So personal finance never stops. I'm so glad you asked this question. There's always another goal. So yes, we paid off the $43,000. But like I mentioned, the reason why we paid off the $43,000, we're planning on having kids. Now that we have two, it's like, oh, okay, let's shift that money that we were paying towards the debt and start putting it towards our kids' future education, trying to make sure we have everything that we need in our life, like personally, all the stuff that we need that, it takes to have a kid. But then after that, like right now we're on this goal of, we want to pay off our mortgage so fast, like fast. And we're using the same frameworks that I'm talking about in this video where, okay, we're doing the 3-month look back. We're analyzing our expenses. We're trying to see how much more money we can find in our finances to apply towards the thing that we want to happen the most. If you want to see me punish myself even more, I talk about how to budget with a laptop on a treadmill in this video right here.